Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business here on this Tuesday morning, and let's wake up the football gods. And thank you for tuning in to this morning's edition of Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys, because you literally cannot sleep on the Dallas Cowboys. Things happen late in the evening, late at night, first thing in the morning, so you want to be up to speed with all that is America's team. Especially as we sit 163 days, 12 hours, and 30 seconds away from kickoff of the 2019 season. And of course, the topic of discussion right now is DeMarcus Lawrence. What's being reported is that the Dallas Cowboys have upped their offer to him, but both sides are still a long ways apart. We know DeMarcus Lawrence said basically, you know what, I played on the franchise tag the first year, and gave you my all. I'm not playing on it a second time, and has been a little bit testy since then, not wanting that tag to be on him this season as they negotiate. And has even gone on record as saying, I'm not getting my shoulder operated on until I get that deal. Now, the problem with the shoulder being operated on is, of course, that it's a 3 to 4 month window for healing. The Cowboys had already had plans of taking it easy and having him have days off during training camp to let that heal so he'll be ready for the start of the season. But if it ends up being, because you have until about the 15th of July to get a long-term deal done, after that it's the franchise tag or you don't get paid until the end of the following season. They have until July 15th to get a long-term deal done. If you don't get one done by then, like I said, you can't negotiate again till the end of the season. If we're talking about waiting till there, then you're talking about missing time in the beginning of the season. Now, for all we know, DeMarcus Lawrence may have already had the shoulder operated on. We don't know. That may have been an empty threat. I don't know. I have no answers for you on that one. I wish I did. But we'll have to wait and see. But for Jerry Jones, this was his quote yesterday. We're all aware, as it turned out, that this is a contract to play football for the first year is a big one. All kinds of money we're talking about. It's just a given that you want to be full year on top, physical condition. That's what you're getting. If you don't get those, it depreciates what you're doing. It works both ways. And I think that's kind of a way of Jerry Jones saying, you know what? We're going to sign you this big deal. You better be damn sure ready to play, because that first year of that contract is huge. The thing I think that gives the Cowboys pause is because the Cowboys understand that the market value is $20 million plus. But they're not sure that that value is $20 million. And the problem for the Dallas Cowboys is in the past, and we talked about this a bit last night, they've signed guys to big contracts, but really didn't get a return on the investment. In fact, a lot of them blew up in their face. About the only really big contract you can say that actually paid off would have been DeMarcus Ware. When you look at Dez Bryant, 5-year, $70 million extension, the next year, 31 receptions, 401 yards. The next year, 50 receptions, 796. And the third year, 69 receptions for 838. That wasn't elite wide receiver receptions. Miles Austin, $54 million extension. The following year, 43 receptions, 579 yards. The next year, 66 for 943. Then the last year he was here, 24 receptions for 244 yards. And you can look at Marion Barber, $45 million extension. 885 yards the next year, 3.7 yards average. 932 yards and 374. Even Tony Romo, his $108 million extension. Now, the first 2 years was great. 4,903 yards, 8 and 8, 3,705 yards, 12 and 3. But then after that, 884 yards. So the Cowboys are really kind of going, do we want to go down this road again? And I think they will go down that road again. But, you get gun shy after a while. And as we're talking about contracts, here's another situation that the Cowboys are going to need to deal with as well. And that's Dak Prescott's. Dak is going to get paid. Whether you like it or don't, Dak is going to get paid because quarterbacks in the NFL get paid. The question is, how much is he going to get paid? It behooves you to get that deal done sooner than later because now you're already hearing the Eagles talking about getting Carson Wentz's deal done. Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott's numbers are actually better. Dak Prescott's actually played in playoff games where Carson Wentz hasn't. So you know Carson Wentz will get paid because he is the guy. They shipped out Super Bowl winning Nick Foles to keep Carson Wentz. That's going to raise the roof on quarterback compensation as well as Russell Wilson. So you want to be ahead of that curve, not after that curve. Had the Cowboys taken care of DeMarcus Lawrence last year, it might have been a $16 or $17 million deal before Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack got their deals. Now that they've waited, the value's gone up. Now, the good thing for the Cowboys is they went through, you heard Jerry Jones say, they felt like they had need at running back, at tight end, at defensive line, and at safety. And thus far, safety you can check off. Defensive line you can check off, and they're still working on defensive line trying to get Robert Quinn. They're going to wait him out. It's under siege. They're hoping that the Dolphins eventually just say, we'll just cut him. Then it doesn't cost you any compensation. Tight end, you got Jason Witten. Check that off. Wide receiver, check that off. You got Cobb. And the only spot that they didn't really address, and they kind of did by re-signing Austin, but Austin you still worry about health-wise. But the Cowboys, and Jerry Jones has said it may be something that they look at after the draft, but they're still trying to address in free agency the running back position. And I think if they find the right fit, the right guy, some people have talked about CJ, but he's looking for a starting gig. He's not looking to be a backup role. He wants to be the guy. But there are some guys out there, and people have mentioned Jay Ajayi, but I think we're dealing with bone-on-bone issues. The reason why the Cowboys didn't draft him originally was they had concerns of how long that knee would hold up. It looks like he may be going back to the Eagles. But there are some guys out there that are serviceable that they may want to bring in just to make sure they have depth and they can have a change of pace on it. Make no mistake, to me, when the Cowboys said that they were all in, we all thought that that meant they're going to go crazy in free agency and sign the best and the brightest and everything else and just get a team of all-stars. They're all in. It's just their way is making sure that we have competent players throughout, that we have competent backouts throughout, and that we are fiscally responsible. So if there's a move we need to make or to pay our players, we can do that. And as much as we as fans want to have the big splash, usually it's the moves that seem like meh, that it's no big deal, that really become the big deals. So that's where we stand. Free agency has calmed down a little bit. It's going to kind of get a little bit quiet as teams start digging in and start focusing in on the draft. We got a month, literally 1 month from now until the draft. Season's coming. It's coming real quick. Let me give a shout out to everybody who came in our live stream last night and everybody who supports our live streams all the way around. We did a drawing last night for, let me grab it here, for this Troy Aikman limited edition collectible from Joseph Hartley. And wiki, DJ Mel was the name drawn up for it. Now, what we're going to do, Mel, email me at cowboysmark94@gmail.com, and that way I can get that out to you. What we're going to do on the drawings, like I said, we've got a lot of great stuff thanks to Joseph Hartley, is basically we'll give 3 days for you to get back in touch with me so that way I can get your prize. If not, then we will do a drawing. We'll redraw it for somebody else. So hopefully, DJ Mel, get back in touch with me today or tomorrow so that way we can get that out to you. But as always, guys, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work, and it's time for me to get to my day job. I'll see you soon.